Accra is one of the biggest cities in Ghana and is located on the southern coast of the Gulf of Guinea, which is part of the Atlantic Ocean. Accra covers an area of 225.6 square kilometers. It has a growing population of over 2.6 million people and is the most populated city in the country. Also, it is home to the seat of government and plays host to hundreds of embassies and high commissions. Accra is the capital city of the Greater Accra Region in Ghana and is also the capital city of Ghana. Accra is home to thousands of expats, and the community continues to grow each year. Living in Ghana means expats have access to beautiful beaches, daily markets, and private and public education systems that both use the English language. The nature of housing tends to vary across the city, and there are many private complexes available to both locals and expats alike. The properties available to members of the expatriate community include apartments and villas with pools. Approximately 83% of those who live in the Greater Accra Region live in an urban area. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly is the local political organization that is responsible for ensuring the city is safe and sanitary, that there are schools available, and that there are markets, transportation systems, and healthcare facilities on offer. Accra is the most expensive city in Africa and second in the world in terms of the property price to income ratio, according to a recent survey by Numbeo. Also, it is ranked as the 87th most expensive expat destination out of the 209 cities analyzed by this survey. The cost of living in Ghana is higher than new arrivals may expect. With a bustling market, beautiful beaches, and stunning natural parks nearby, Accra is a delightful West African city for expats to settle in. The mining, oil, gas, and shipping industries are all thriving, and each one acts as an ideal source of work for Accra's expatriates. Accra is also the country's hub for finance, insurance, marketing, business development, and transportation. The city features several commercial, domestic, and international banks, as well as several mortgage and insurance providers. The tertiary economic sector tends to provide most of the city's income. This includes hotels, restaurants, real estate, education, health, and shopping malls. While there is no specific industry that attracts expats to Ghana, most of those who do move there do so because they are being sent by their existing employer. In addition, property development, architecture, and healthcare appear to be popular career choices, although the country does encourage businesses to hire local workers before looking to the international employment market. Accra has a cost of living index score of 38.74 and is reputed as one of the most expensive cities in Africa. This is partly due to the cost of rent and accommodation that have soared over 70% in the last 4 years, according to some official statistics. The effect of this unfortunate situation means that Accra's very young and vibrant population is held back due to the cost of putting a roof over their head. Welcome to the New Tourist. In this video, we will look at the 4 top reasons why Accra is so expensive, followed by the 9 top areas that make living in Accra so expensive. Make sure to watch this video till the end if you live in Ghana or you're planning a move to Ghana. This video will help you plan your budget or income. Let us start with 4 reasons why Accra is so expensive. 4. The state's unwillingness to prioritize the issue of increasing cost of living. Ghanaians are used to politicians promising things but never delivering on them. Rent and housing seem to be something Ghanaian politicians are not willing to put on top of the agenda. For some reason, the government is trusting the free market to handle people's accommodation needs despite the unbearable situation going on. 3. Regulations are not being enforced according to the law regulating rents in Ghana. An advancement in accommodation should not exceed 6 months. However, it has become the standard over the last 5 years to see landlords charging up to 2 years from potential tenants. The authorities are aware of this, but no one seems to care enough to work on it. 2. Inflation due to the capital market for all Ghanaian struggles. Ghana is increasingly seeing the rise of newly rich young people. These young people have made their monies through fair and foul means. There is also a rise in the number of banks in the country, with about 7 new ones in the last 4 years. This means many banks are putting cash into the system. The presence of money and people with money make it easy for landlords to increase accommodation prices. Other landlords who would usually cater to lower-income individuals are also forced to increase to not be left behind. 1. Demand outweighs supply. As tried and tested economic principles will show, the prices of things are always higher when more people need these things. And if these things are not that many, the cost is bound to drive up. It is said Ghana has an accommodation deficit of close to 2 million. Many of these people are in Accra, but the facilities cannot support them all. Meanwhile, accommodation in Ghana is particularly expensive and will take most of an expat's budget. Household utilities, communications, and technology are also costly, whereas transport expenses are fairly low for even those who choose to drive. The following are what makes Accra expensive. 9. Healthcare in Accra. Public healthcare in Ghana is funded by a blend of government resources and religious organizations. Expats can use the country's national health insurance scheme, but they must pay a small stipend. Many expats prefer to take advantage of the city's private healthcare system, which offers quicker access to treatments and better facilities. Most medics operating in private hospitals in Accra speak fluent English, and wait times tend to be short. However, the quality of hospitals throughout the city varies, which means it is important to choose one carefully. Some of the country's private health insurance schemes include Momentum Africa, First Fidelity Health, and MedX Health Systems. Pharmacies are widely available across the city, which means access to medicine is easy. However, those who spend time away from Accra in some of Ghana's more rural districts may find those hospital standards are not as high. In addition, individuals moving to Accra may wish to consider long-term malaria prophylaxis, including medications and mosquito nets. 8. Education in Accra. Expats who are moving to Ghana with their families have several options when it comes to education in Accra. Public school educators in Accra are more likely to operate using English than local dialects, but this may vary in other regions of the country. The public school system in Accra is based on the British education system. Theoretically, public schooling in the city is free. However, if schools do not have enough facilities to cope with student demands, they may request a financial contribution towards a child's education. Private schools in Accra model themselves on both British and American education systems. In addition, there are both Swiss and French schools available. The fees at such schools tend to be quite high, and places are often in high demand. 7. Transportation in Accra. Due to the large expat community and high levels of tourism, Accra's public transport system is relatively comfortable. Those relying on buses for transport in Accra should find that they are well air-conditioned, and most operate from Obeit Sebi Lamptey Circle Station, Tudu Station, or Makola Market. It is possible to drive in Ghana using an international driver's license that is up to date. Alternative options include using a taxi or a trotro. Taxis are relatively cheap, and although trotros are cheaper, they tend to be dangerous and uncomfortable. 6. Finding accommodation in Accra. Expats relocating to Accra may wish to consider their accommodation options before making other arrangements. There is a large selection of properties across the city, with many offering excellent value for money. Both prime and underdeveloped areas exist, and redevelopment is constantly occurring across the city. Many expats choose to live in the airport residential area, East Legon, Spintex, or Asu. Prices in the area tend to vary, with some of the more prestigious properties costing upwards of $3,000 per month. It is worth noting that most expats rent rather than buy in Accra, as the complex property laws mean the closest they can get to buying is to lease a property for 50 years. Individuals who want to avoid the high rental prices attached to expat areas may wish to look at Kwabenya, Hatso, and Achimota, which feature a mixture of expats and locals. Rental arrangements are more likely to be informal than formal. Individuals looking for a property may want to start with local classifieds and newspaper ads. As real estate agents in the city are expensive, expats should consider using them as a last resort only. 5. The climate in Accra. Depending on the time of year they choose to relocate, expatriates moving to Accra may have a bit of a shock when it comes to the climate. On average, temperatures across the city are high. Those who enjoy consistently high temperatures and lots of sunshine can look forward to the June to September period, which sees averages of 28 to 30 degrees Celsius and around 150 hours of sunshine each month. Water temperatures tend to remain high throughout the year. However, it is worth noting that riptides are particularly strong at some points of Accra's coastline, which means those who are not strong swimmers may wish to stick to swimming pools. 4. Income tax in Accra. Whether expats secure a job before arriving in Ghana or afterward, they need to get to grips with Ghanaian taxation rules. Like many countries, Ghana taxes its residents depending on how much they earn. At the lower end of the scale, those earning 1,584 Ghanaian cedis, or less, are not taxed. At the upper end of the scale, meanwhile, those earning over 31,680 cedis are taxed 25%. Compared to many Western countries, such rates are quite attractive. Income tax rates usually operate on a pay-as-you-earn basis. Therefore, those who work in Accra may be entitled to claim back any excess payments they have made at the end of the tax year. Self-employed individuals are responsible for paying their taxes, and they pay in 4 equal installments throughout the year. Corporate tax rates stand at 25% for businesses in Accra. This tax is usually paid when companies calculate their profits at the end of each financial year. 3. Cost of accommodation in Ghana. Accommodation is very expensive in Ghana, and rent will account for a large proportion of an expat's budget, especially in Accra. As the country is developing and more international companies are setting up offices in the Ghanaian capital, Accra, the foreign population is growing quite rapidly, with the demand for accommodation being high, with a short supply of quality and secure housing for expats pushing prices up. 2. Cost of entertainment and eating out. Accra is well known in Africa for its impeccable nightlife. The cost of entertainment and eating out varies accordingly to an individual expat's taste and preferences. Dinner for 2 at a restaurant serving local cuisine is highly affordable, while the international fare is more expensive. That said, Ghana is more expensive when it comes to entertainment, such as cinema and theater tickets, although there are often promotions and deals available if one knows where to look. 1. Cost of personal care and communication. The cost for items such as cosmetics, hair care, and toiletries is low, while the cost is high for various forms of communication such as home telephone, internet subscription, mobile services, data tariffs, and data costs. As consumer goods prices continue to ascend across Africa, everyone is feeling the impact, but as is always the case, some people will feel it more than others. The engagement of multi-partners and stakeholders fosters better collaboration and promotes learning and ownership of the city's development plan. The Greater Accra Region is the most urbanized in the country, with 87.4% of its total population living in urban centers. We have come to the end of this amazing edition. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications, and tell us what you think about this in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.